It's now my privilege to call upon Mordechai Beck. Mordechai was born in the middle of the last century in Yorkshire, England. Between yeshiva and university, he attended Hornsey Art School at the height of the crazy 60s. In fact, this comes from Mordechai's website, by the way. Imbibing there the foundations of drawing, painting, and graphics. He emigrated to Israel in 1973. In the late 1980s, he took courses in printmaking at the Jerusalem Print Workshop, where he later produced a series of etchings on a range of different topics, and you'll be hearing about all those different topics tonight. Mordechai.
Good evening. First of all, I think, according to your directions anyway, this first part I was going to just do an autobiography, and then the second part will go on to the thing. I will repeat one or two of the things that were said here because I wrote them down already. My artistic journey has several phases. The first was when I was 16. I went to Hornsey College of Art in North London, and there I studied the basics of design, drawing, painting, as well as some calligraphy and pottery, etc. We worked extremely hard from 8:30 in the morning to 6 o'clock every day, more or less. We were very fortunate having some of the cream of teachers, most recent graduates of the Royal College of Art, and I left after 2 years, having absorbed the basics, which gave me a knowledge to continue on my own had I not decided to continue to yeshiva and then to university. Some 20 years later, this is my second phase, I found myself taking a course in printmaking, mainly etching and screen printing, at the Jerusalem Print Workshop. I had, in the meantime, made Aliyah to Israel in 1973 and quickly understood that earning a living in art was nigh impossible. But it was my good fortune that some years into my living in Israel, I was introduced to the director of the Jerusalem Print Workshop, who saw some of my drawings and said they would look good as etchings. He said that with a big smile. Anyway, for the next number of years, I devoted myself to etchings and then linoleum cuts and wood cuts, creating, amongst other things, 3 books: Mafte Yonah, The Story of Jonah; Ushpizin, The Spiritual Guests of Sukkot; and The Song of Songs. The first of these books, I had even greater fortune of meeting with David Moss, who wrote the calligraphy and did much else besides. And the last of these books was commissioned by Izzy Pludwinski. I produced 15 linoleum prints, of which 7 were used in the book, which I sold to, amongst others, MoMA in New York. That's the Museum of Modern Art. All 3 books were also sold to the Library of Congress. Individually, the books were sold to a number of universities, amongst them Berkeley, YU, JTS, and the New York Public Library. In the third phase of my artistic journey, I traveled mainly to the USA, where I was able to present my work in various fairs, shows, museums, college campuses, and private homes. What I showed there were the books, as well as a wide variety of individual prints, which I'd worked on through the years. If there is a fourth phase, it is my return to painting, partly because they allow me to spread out and go big, as opposed to prints, which are mainly on a small scale. Today, I vary my work between painting and prints, and wait for the beginning of my 5th phase. Okay. You can see some of these examples of my work, which are all taken basically from text, Jewish texts, which do inspire me to try to find a graphic equivalent of them. So.
Thank you, Mordechai.